Do we have any idea what we're doing? Does the Biden administration have any idea of what it's doing and now sending cluster bombs as part of a munitions package to Kyiv? This is insanity. Do you know how the rest of the world is viewing this? I'm saying this to you because I hope you represent a faction of a huge group of people who know something about this. Because what I'm seeing right now is case after case, person after person who knows absolutely nothing of what is happening. Who has this idea that somehow Putin wants to, reconfigure and reassemble the Soviet Union? I don't even know how to put this into words. But before we go on, let me ask you first, and I have to do this, ask you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And don't forget our great sponsor at MyPillow.com. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. The deals, the percales, the sheets, the duvets, you name it. Look at what they've got for you. They are replete. They are absolutely loaded down with some of the best items to help you and assist you in the luxuriation that you so greatly deserve. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, MyPillow.com/Lionel. The link is attached herein for you to go, and I ask you to do so. Do you have any idea what's happening here? Let's look at what the rest of the world is doing. This escalatory move. Many people around the world, around Europe, they're viewing this as an admission, basically a Hail Mary gesture, that Ukraine's a failure, that it's a failure in mounting some kind of something. And the question is, does anybody think for a moment they're going to be a member of NATO? And if they're not, what the hell's the point of this? The U.S. decision to include cluster bombs, cluster munitions in its latest installment, its latest supply of military aid to Kyiv is, many people believe, an admission, perhaps a tacit admission, of a complete and total failure and a last-ditch desperate attempt to stave off what appears to be certain defeat. You want to hear what the Russian ambassador had to say today? Quote, cluster munitions are a gesture of desperation. Such a measure speaks of the awareness of the United States and its satellites of their impotence. This is according to Anatoly Antonov. This is a Russian ambassador to Washington. However, they do not want to admit their own setbacks and the failure of the Ukrainian military's attempts to carry out an offensive against the Russian regions. Therefore, they commit new acts of madness. Now, the Biden administration continues to raise the stakes during this war, this military operation, with, according to Antonov, tenacity worthy of a better use. And what they're considering this, and it's important to see what Russia is saying about this. They're looking at this really off the scale, bringing humanity closer to a new world war. How many times do you have to hear this? The White House and the Pentagon confirmed today that the U.S. is going to be sending these dual-purpose improved conventional munitions, or DPICMs, dual-purpose improved, conventional munitions. And one of the reasons cited was that the West, it was said, was running short of conventional artillery munitions and ammunition and the like. Now, Under Secretary of Defense for Policy, Colin Kahl, Kahl, told reporters at the Pentagon that the decision was driven, quote, by the urgency of the moment and what appears to be the desire to keep the Ukrainian forces fighting. You know, Kyiv's long heralded offensive has apparently delivered or produced no gains of note, nothing substantial, despite this. And I can't. I mean, I guess people don't. They figure, oh, whatever. But you know what's happening? They're pushing. Antonov pointed out that the U.S. move ignored concern coming from Washington, Biden's allies, most of whom have ratified the Convention on Cluster Munitions, as well as the misgivings, I'm being kind, of UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. This is, again, listen to Russia's words here. It's very interesting. What's striking is the cruelty and cynicism with which Washington approached the issue of transferring deadly weapons to Kyiv. The administration completely ignored the arguments about the inhumanity of such a step voiced by experts, human rights activists, and lawmakers, turning a blind eye to civilian casualties. Now, through the fault of the United States, the ambassador said, for many years there has been a risk that innocent civilians will be blown up by malfunctioning sub-munitions. You know these clusters. You've seen them. You know, as we speak, there is this movie, Oppenheimer, which I will not see for many reasons. And it has that wonderful scene where Oppenheimer says, supposedly, when he sees the detonation of the first bomb, he says, I am become death, the creator of doom or evil, whatever, some Vishnu, Mahavishnu, or not Vishnu, some Vishnu quote from the Bhagavad Gita. So we pretend, we talk a real good game about how we're very cognizant of what's going on. You know, we know what's going on. We're aware of this. We're aware of the deadliness. I mean, we're aware of, climate change, little infinitesimal gradations and alterations in the temperature of ambient, whatever it is. That's no problem. When you push these people to the point, anybody, when you keep pushing them and you're handing them information that is going to, munitions that are going to be used to kill Russian soldiers, what do you think is going to happen? What do these geniuses think? Does Biden have any idea what he's doing? Are they just saying, here, sign this? What? Cluster, what? The only cluster. And cluster is indeed an operative word here. Does he have any idea of what he's doing? Do you think this man who just goes from, ice cream cone to ice cream cone knows about dual purpose improved conventional munitions? Do you think he is aware of this? Do you think do you think it's possible? Cluster munitions, have you seen this? Have you seen how they open up? Look at this. But I know you don't care. I mean, not you. I shouldn't say you. They don't care. They don't care because Putin's a bad guy and deserves it and has it coming and whatever. Isn't that something? Doesn't that just blow your mind? Doesn't it? It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well, my friends, pray. If you pray this stops. Pray that some very powerful people with very powerful weapons don't one day say, you know what? I've had it. What would you do? What would you do if China gave cluster bombs to, let's say, Mexico, and they were firing into Texas? What do you think you'd be asking our government to do? What do you think people would be clamoring? Come on, Biden, do something. Show them. Show them what we've got. Make them pay. Make them hurt. Make them know who we are. Make them respect us. That's exactly what we'd be saying. And we'd be right. But we never put ourselves into that position. We never do that. Isn't that something? We never, ever do that. All right, my friends. That's it for now. If you pray, Start praying. Start praying bigly, because this thing could go hot. And when I mean hot, you know what I mean. Before you know it. And they've been saying a lot about this. We have no business. It's none of our business. It has none. This is of no concern to us. This is NATO provocation, NATO goading. You know it. I know it. Pray. Pray it stops now. All right, dear friends, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and the like. And don't forget our great, great sponsor, mypillow.com, mypillow.com, the great folks. And also use promo code Lionel or use that link that is attached. Have a great and glorious day, my friends. We'll talk soon. And until then, remember these words, the monkey's dead. What am I saying? What am I? I'm so confused by this. I'm confusing this with the morning live show. This is how befuddled I am. And anyway, see what's happening? See? So in the meantime, just comment. Comment as you see fit.